With Drake May being in MVP conversations and Mike Vrabel being, again, another coach to get to an organization and lead them to a Super Bowl, it begs the question, should the Bears or do the Bears have any buyer's remorse considering they had the opportunity to entertain both of these individuals? Let's talk about it. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy P Kid. This is the Windy City Breeze. You already know what you clicked on, so let's just jump into the topic. I don't know why we do this in Chicago, but anytime we see another person have a level of success, we tend to compare him to our QB. Matter of fact, no, I take that back. I do know exactly why we do that, because we're still living in the past on what happened with the whole Trubisky thing. And at a certain point, you have to let that go. You have to let that go because at this point, to continuously compare what this QB could have done and this, that, and the other, you can't do it. It's not how that works. For those who don't know and may be new to football in the Chicagoland area and Chicago sports period, yes, the Chicago Bears chose Mitchell Trubisky over the current GOAT, which would be Patrick Mahomes. In that same draft, you had the likes of Deshaun Watson and a couple other individuals that would have totally made, in some people's eyes and opinions, a bigger difference and impact in Chicago. And if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You can't deny that. I would say that given what Deshaun Watson was given and what he did at his time and what he was at with literally no line, yeah, he was more talented, highly touted, things of that nature. But ever since then, we've always compared our particular draft pick to what someone may have been able to do in another situation. Right now, it's the Caleb Williams versus Drake Maye. Oh, Drake Maye was a better prospect, this, that, and the other. And I'll be honest with you, Drake Maye was and did play in a pro system, a pro style system, and he did have the better mechanics when it came to being more NFL ready. But that doesn't mean that he's the better quarterback, or it doesn't even mean that he would have been able to survive the beating that Caleb Williams took in his first season here. I want people to understand that Drake Maye was in a very bad situation his first year. They went 3 of 9, or he went 3 of 9 rather. He didn't. I believe he got injured, so he didn't play the full season. He threw like 15 tuds, but 10 INTs, something that Caleb Williams has yet to do in a single season. And I think he had like 2,000 yards. It's a very low number. It wasn't a great season for Drake Maye. He had no line, and because he isn't the most mobile QB, it kind of showed. Like they got to him. They got to him a lot. Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times. Still put up over 3,500 yards. And actually, if you look at his numbers, they were very close to the rookie that we all thought, or who the national media would like to crown as the pride and joy of that particular draft, being Jaden Daniels, who, surprise, surprise, wasn't healthy this season. And when he was healthy, he looked very mid. What's the point? Chicago has their guy. There is no buyer's remorse. There shouldn't be any buyer's remorse. There shouldn't be a situation in which you're comparing Drake Maye's current situation to Caleb's current situation. Two different paths. First of all, Vrabel, although I didn't touch on that. We got to touch on that. Vrabel also being a coaching candidate. Yes, we wanted him on the breeze. I thought he would be a good candidate if we didn't have Ben Johnson. It didn't work out. It didn't happen. But you don't have to be such a hater. I don't even know if it's hate. I don't know exactly what to call it. But to have the continuous discord of, oh, if we got that guy, we could have done this. You don't know. The situations aren't the same. And we don't know if Vrabel would have taken the Chicago job. I'm not saying he wouldn't. There may be some reports that say he would have been interested. Who knows? Who knows how valid they are? Because hindsight is always 20/20 and all that trash. But at a certain point, you have to just live in what you have now and be happy with what you have. Be content with what you have. We finally have the QB. There's no sense of comparing him to Drake Maye and what Vrabel was able to build. By the way, Vrabel, not a first-time head coach, has been to a Super Bowl before, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Maybe he was. I forgot. Either way, he had success. I know he got to the playoffs several times. I don't know if he's been to a Super Bowl. Definitely, no, he's been to the Super Bowl as a player. Excuse me. Definitely been to the Super Bowl as a player. Had great success as a coach. I mean, like, what? It's apples. It's not even apples to apples. But Ben Johnson is the first time head coach, literally just turned the whole city around, literally changed the entire culture in the city, not even in the locker room for the Bears. The entire culture around the city is different. But yet you have people who will just continue to have this discord about what they need, what we could have done, and this, that, and the other. Shut up. You all are the worst type of fans. The worst type of fans. Those are the type of people that make it very hard to even want to do content creation in the sports world. Now, I know people will say, well, you can't say that. Yes, I can. I say whatever I want to say. And I said it. You all are you all who continue to engage in that type of conversation repetitively when we clearly are building something great here are the worst kind of fans. But I'll say this, just because I do have to entertain it a little bit, that at a certain point, you're going to miss the entire journey of what's being built here, constantly making these comparisons. Everyone is constantly comparing Caleb to Jaden Daniels. Stop it. It's done. We got our guy. We're building around it. The head coach has made him look like a stud. He's going to be our first 4,000-yard passer. He almost got it this season. Complete stud. If you look at some of the best passes this year, most improbable passes and catches this year, Caleb Williams is on that list multiple times. Heck, he has 2 in the same game. Embrace and cheer for who you have. Post made a good decision. He didn't get the lesser. This isn't a Mitchell Trubisky situation. He got one of the most talented players in that particular draft. If another player goes off and have good success, good on them. They have a different situation. They have a different schedule. They have a different defense. They have a lot of other variables that have led to that success. You all look at that last game Drake Maye played and said that it was him that won that game? Absolutely not. But I'm not here to hate on Drake Maye. He's had a phenomenal season. He looked like a complete stud, and I'm happy for him. He does not play for the Chicago Bears. And if the Chicago Bears match up with them, and I believe we do next season, we will win. I have that much confidence in my QB and in our team and in our head coach. You can literally be a person who enjoys and appreciates your journey, what you have, while also congratulating others, especially since we're not in the same conference, on what they got going on. It's okay. You all don't have to sit there and do the back and forth with it. Enjoy it. Salute to the Patriots. Salute to Vrabel going back to the organization that allowed him to be I think he's a 3-time Super Bowl champ. I didn't track it that whole way because, again, it didn't really matter to me, but good on him. And salute to Drake Maye for making the most of his situation. Drake Maye, no one was having a conversation that Drake Maye was going to be better. They said that he had the better mechanics coming out. But when you saw what you saw, it was like, oh, that's going to be pretty rough. And maybe they got something over there. They got something there. Good on them. Hey, Dan Marino and John Elway are in the same era. John Elway got the rings. John Elway has a legacy. They both have a good legacy. They both are legendary QBs. John Elway got more rings. We'll see what happens at the end of the journey. Let's not overreact at what's happening right now. But listen, I want to hear your thoughts. Whether it's love, let's say put it in the chat. I'll be there with you. Till next time. Peace.